I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be failure to lead. Well, you may have heard me say this once or twice before, and that is in the courtship, in the pickup phase, in the relationship phase, it is the man's job to gently lead the interaction, the relationship, to where he wants it to go. And obviously the title of this video is Failure to Lead, so the guy whose email we're going to go over in a second, he had some opportunities came up and he wanted me to critique his performance. So it boils down to being a leader, leadership, exhibiting the type of energy that the captain of the football team exhibits. And so I've got some quotes that I'd like to read. My dad, when I was growing up, he had this little plaque on his desk, and it said, lead, follow, or get out of the way. And I like to say lead, follow, or get the fuck out of the way, because at the end of the day, be a leader. Be great at you. Leaders lead by example. If you look at the best athletes, the best football players, the best baseball players, basketball players, soccer players, they all have one thing in common, and that is that they focus intently on being really awesome at their craft, really focusing in on being at their personal best at all times. And so it's interesting. I heard this. I think I heard this first time. I heard this from Tony Robbins years ago. He said the number one way to be the most effective leader of people is to be at your best personally. And in order to be the most attractive that you can be to the opposite sex is also by being at your best personally. Because the more you work in careers or businesses or at a purpose or mission in life that's doing something you really love, that's aligned with your heart, that is emotionally compelling, that's exciting to you, the more you have the kind of people in your life that you want, the more you have the freedom to travel to the kind of places that you want to travel to and spend time there with the kind of people you want to travel with, the happier you're going to be. You're going to radiate. I mean, think about it. We've all met people at numerous times in our life where you just feel good being around them. You feel good being in their presence. They give off a good vibe. They're friendly. They make you feel like you're the only person in the world. And that's the kind of energy that I'm talking about. And I've got another quote that I want to share from Tony. And this one is, lead a life of your own design on your own terms, not one that others or the environment have scripted for you. So let's jump into this guy's email and go through here and critique some of the points where he maybe could have done things differently. And next time around, he'll learn. But obviously when you're in these situations, and especially like you're learning this stuff, you're always going to be faced with your fear, what you're afraid of. Some guys, just making eye contact with a woman just scares the fucking shit out of them. Other guys have no problem making eye contact. They can chat women up. But asking for the phone number or asking for a date, they freeze up. They don't know what to do. And so the key is to slowly do things and take bigger risks the more you feel comfortable. That's why I say is go at your own pace, because everybody starts out differently. Everybody's got a different part of their life or their game or their life plan that they need to work on in order to get to a place where you can feel it. Because really it's not so much about what's going on in your external world as it is of what you feel internally, because people will perceive you exactly how you perceive yourself. And so the quicker you can get to a place or a state of mind or an internal state where you really feel successful, or that you're on the verge of becoming successful, or you're in the process of being successful, and you can see that you're over the weeks and months and years as they're rolling on, that you're making progress, and you can tell you're getting closer and closer to achieving your goals. It's like you know what you want, and you expect to achieve it. That's a different vibe, 100% completely different vibe than a guy who's, hey man, what's up? How's your day going? Oh, fucking same shit, different day. You wouldn't believe what the fucking boss dumped on my desk first thing when I came in Monday morning. Yeah, it's the kind of shit that you usually hear. Those two guys give off a completely different type of vibe. And on a Friday night or on a weekend when everybody's wanting to cut loose, the guy that loves his life and loves his job and feels like he has a purpose, and he's at a party, he's able to really enjoy himself because he feels at peace. He feels relaxed. But the other guy who hates his career and his job because he spends all day doing something he fucking hates, well, when he's around other people, all he tends to do is complain about it, because most people tend to major in minor things in life. And so he says, hey, Corey, tonight I was out in a club with two of my friends, and I had a good time. And one girl that goes to my college was constantly buzzing around me. So in one moment, I stopped her, and I started to talk with her. Good job, because if you're aware, you should always assume that all women want you, especially the ones that are buzzing around in your presence. If you're walking around, women who like you, who are open, who are single, who want to talk to you, they'll look you in the eye and they'll smile. But if the girl's in a relationship, or she's in a shitty mood, or she doesn't want to talk to men, or she just wants to, or maybe she's unavailable for whatever reason, they won't look you in the eye. They'll know that you're staring at them, and because it's pretty obvious, you're looking in their eyes. But if they don't look at you and like they walk right by you as if you're not there, that person's not open to talking to you. And so especially if you're learning this kind of stuff, talk to the women who look in you in the eye and smile. That's the invitation of saying, hey. But you got to remember, women don't want to be the aggressor. They'll put themselves into your orbit. And so if a girl knows you, or she likes you, or she finds you attractive, or you're at the gym, what will she do? She'll usually come over and sit down next to you on a machine and work out near you in hopes that you'll do something. You'll go, hey, what's up? How you doing? How's your workout going? Or you can go, you know what? I think your level of intensity of your workout today sucks because I don't see a bead of sweat anywhere on your brow. So what the hell is your excuse? That's a great opener. She's going to giggle and she's going to laugh. She's like, oh, no, not really. And she'll have some excuse. She'll start talking. And it's just easy to roll into normal conversation, because if you already knew this girl or you were friends with her, that's the kind of shit you would say. You kind of bust on her like bratty little sister would. Very simple stuff like that. Guys like, oh, what do I say? What do I say? Just simple thing like that. A joke, a comment, messing with her, teasing her a little bit in a playful way, not a mean way, just a fun and playful, charming way. It's a great icebreaker. What's your name? Hey, nice to meet you. You don't volunteer yours. I mean, it's just really simple to roll right into. I get right to the point. I ask for a number, make a date on the spot. But if that scares you, then it's just take your time and do what's comfortable. And if you're not at the point where you're ready to ask for numbers yet, then just chat with the girl and enjoy the experience of being there and chatting with her and not having any kind of attachment to anything. And just be willing to say, hey, I'm just going to chat with this girl, and when I get done with my exercise or my set here, I'm going to wish her well, I'm going to go on about my business. You never know. The girl might offer you, hey, well, let me give you my number for you. You go. Women will do that sometimes. Not all the time, but it happens sometimes. So if you stop worrying about it and start focusing more on having a good time and smiling and enjoying your life, things will really fucking change for you really quickly. So he says she was very talkative with me, and so I told her, let's go out and talk, because inside it was very noisy. Well, that's smart, because the process of seduction is, the idea is you want to kind of isolate the girl and get her alone where just the two of you are together, no cock-blocking friends of yours or hers to kind of get in the way. And so like when you're at a venue like this is what you do. It's like go to a place where the two of you can sit down and talk and have a drink away from all the cock-blockers that are going to get in the way. So he said we went out, and after about 15-20 minutes of talk, I asked for her number, and she gave it to me. Well, at that point, you can get the number, or ask for the date is the even better way to go about it. But what you should do in that situation is that if you just want to get the number at this point, then you should leave and go somewhere else. Go to a different place instead of kind of hanging out there, because if you get her number and then you hang out at the venue with her the rest of the night, I mean, think about it. The process of seduction is getting closer and closer until you end up inside of her. And so you got this great connection, you got this great chemistry, and then you get a phone number, and then you hang out, and then she's there with the other guys, and you'll often see that she ends up going home with some other dude that night, and you're like, I got her fucking phone number. It's like, what the hell? That's why. It's like if you're bored with the venue, and you're like, this is great, or you got the phone number of the only hot girl there, you want to move on to somewhere else, hey, I'll get in touch with you later this week. Have a great night. Give her a hug, and boom, you're on your way. So he says, after this, we went back inside, and I walked to my buddy saying goodbye to her. After some time, she suddenly again bumps into me and asks me to go with her to one particular club. hang out, have fun, and hook up. So this chick was obviously having fun with you, and she wanted to continue to have fun, and she's putting herself into your orbit because you're like, hey, I'm going to leave, and she's like, no, stay. And so these are the types of things, like I talk about all the time, guys like slowly start talking women out of liking them. And this is what happens, is you're going to see that her interest will start kind of waning a little bit, and then he'll start kind of hanging out and standing around, kind of with his hands in his pocket, and then she's going to end up leaving with some other dude later. So he says, I agreed, and we went to that club. So he says, I'm going to leave. You know, he's acting like a leader at that point. It has a positive effect, and if she says, no, come with us, just say, no, I'm fucking beat. I'm just in the mood to hang, but, I got a bottle of champagne back at my place. If you want to come on back, I got some orange juice. We'll make some mimosas, maybe have some snacks, and we can just hang. And if she says, no, I really want to go to this club, and say, all right, well, I only live 10 minutes away, so if you change your mind, shoot me a text. I'm just going to go chill later. Because you never know, maybe an hour or two from now, because that'll happen a lot. When you're willing to walk away from a girl in those kinds of situations, you'd be amazed at how strong of an effect that has on her, because you're willing to walk away and leave, in essence, not worried about some other dude. And if she doesn't want to leave with you right then, but you want to leave, then you need to leave because that's what you want to do. And so what you see here is this guy starts being incongruent with what it is that he really wants, and things go downhill, and he in essence talks her. He could have probably taken this girl home and had a great night of carefree sex, but instead he pretty much talked to her. He'll probably won't even get a date with her at this point. So he says, he says he agreed, and they went to that club, and after a short time she started to talk how it is late and she is tired and that she needs to go home. And I said, okay, because remember I always say, it's like, always leave one more, just like every TV show or movie. At the end of it, they always kind of leave a little cliffhanger. Why? So you tune in next week, and that's the idea. And it has that effect. So when you're like, oh, I'm going to leave, I'm kind of tired, she's like, no, please stay. And just, you say, no, I'm going to go, but, if you want, I'm just going to be chilling at home later. I got a bottle of champagne, and I think I'm going to have a little champagne party, and you're more welcome to come on by. So if you change your mind, reach out to me, shoot me a text. You got my number. And you'd be surprised. A lot of girls will after a half hour, an hour, whatever, because you left, and then the other guy they're still there usually end up doing something stupid to talk them out of liking them or going home with them. And so what happens? Ding, you see her number show up in your text. And you're like, it's on. So he says, let's see here. So, she starts basically saying that she's tired and she needs to go home, and he says, okay, and he says, so we're walking, and then we come across to another one of my acquaintances, and suddenly she stops, and she starts to flirt with him. Because what's happened here now completely is the power is flipped. It's like you put your balls on a boxing game to her. You made her the leader, and she doesn't want to be the leader. What she really wants is a guy who will be the leader, and since you're not doing it, hey, she's tired, I'm going to go home. And all of a sudden, hey, how are you? What's going on, buddy? And she starts chatting up your friend. So he says, they talked about 10 minutes, and I was standing on the side. Bad way to go, man. She called me to join them and talk, but I had an attitude that I'm going home. So after about 10 minutes of their talk, she decided to go back with him to the club instead of going home, and asked me if I'm going with them. But I said I'm tired, and tomorrow I got 2 dates, so I need my beauty sleep. That was a good thing to say, but at that point, like I said, if you were bored, you should have said, this is, I'm out of here, and you had everything going great. But when you stopped and you came back and you just kind of drifted the rest of the night and you didn't lead, that's where you went wrong. Because you could have easily, like I said, you could have easily invited her back to your place, or said, hey, if you get anything cool later, reach out to me, shoot me a text. And then you could be at home, or you could be doing anything. You could say, hey, I'm headed back to my house. We're just going to have a little champagne party. Me and my roommates, or I got a bottle of champagne. I'm just going to chill, and you're more than welcome to join me. Just text her your address and say, well, shoot me a text if you're going to come on by. I'd love to hang out. You'd be surprised. You start doing that, walking away with girls, instead of sitting around, following around, letting them become the leader like this, you'll be the one going home with them. So if you have a question you want to ask me, go to my website, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a paid phone coaching session, and I'll talk to you soon.